In the previous episode, Rebecca and Zach have both gone up. Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the letter. On the previous episode, nothing happened and it really annoyed me. You may notice a few different things. I have moved the camera placement so now it is right in front of me instead of to the side, for example. That is so the eye tracking is a little bit better, although it will look like I'm staring uncomfortably into your soul sometimes. Aside from that, yeah, without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, before we do anything, let's look at all these new things in the bottom right. A day after the open house, the Wrights were seen securing the mansion's purchase at Briar Realty's Luxbourne office. Parties involved in the transaction were surprised at how fast it went, but agreed it was to be expected when dealing with influential people like the Wrights. Happy over the sale, Isabella Santos treated her friends to lunch. It told me there was something new, but there's nothing new here. There you go. Okay. The sky is cloudless and the noontime sun is beating down on the hard concrete when we leave the cafe. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put most people in a fickle mood or make them vulnerable to catching something. No wonder we have staff members going AWOL lately, not to mention my boss's mercurial moods. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usual cloudy weather back. Wait, is she complaining that it's too sunny? For all the gripes about the unpredictable weather, though, the streets of Luxbourne remain constantly busy. Alright, let me just double check. Okay, yeah, she is complaining that it's too sunny. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement and inane chatter coming from the lunchtime crowd fill the humid afternoon air. A small reminder of the things we still have to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Back to Briar Realty for me, Zach to a meeting with the magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becca to her lesson plans and books at home. But more than once, I catch her sneaking a longing glance over something displayed on the shop window. Did she want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her this Christmas. I turned my head at the last shop she checked out. A fleeting glimpse. The world stills. Ooh! She looks at me, eyes hollow, gaze piercing, and boring into my very soul, like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. There are no shadows or whispers this time. Only a plea. A hum, low and indistinct. Compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me to the void beyond the glass. I don't dare move. My heart hammers against my ribs, each beat, every thump screaming at me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I couldn't. All of my limbs feel heavy while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretched in a grin, wide and unpleasant. The panic building up in my chest forces me to take a tentative step back. I try not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arm or her nailless fingers. I don't want this. Not like this. Not after I got what I want for Papa.
No, no,
Wait,
stop.
not after what I get or got.
Leave me alone.
Oh, her face contorts and she lets out a wail sharp and utterly forgiving. Rage. There is only hatred and bitterness, as if the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself.
Please! I don't want this!
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards, my own throat hoarse from the screams that I didn't even notice already coming out of my mouth. The back of my feet catches on a loose stone, sending me sprawling on the ground. The resulting pain completely jolts me out of the haze, blurring my mind. For a little while, my surroundings appear unfamiliar until Becca's face swims into my vision. A look of concern is on her face and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zach appears beside himself with worry while he stands behind her, acting as a shield against a small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words refuse to form. On impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone. Yet the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, my weakened limbs relying solely on reflex and muscle memory. Something icy has made its home at the pit of my stomach. Is it ice? I want to throw up anything to get the wretched sensation out.
You were screaming. Zach, call someone! No, don't. I'm good. I'm good. I need to get to the office. Rose, the floor plans. Someone's going to pick it up. I'll see you later.
Careful. Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zach, you watch over her for me. I'll call for someone.
Like an ambulance? I'm squinting, but it's hard to see. I attempt to smile to put her at ease, but it likely comes off as a grimace. After a pleasant lunch with Zachary Steele and Rebecca Gales, Isabella Santos received an urgent phone call from Rose Cooper, asking her to meet with the Wright's interior designer. Left with no choice, she hurried back to BRC, but on her way one of the shops she passed by, a familiar smile greeted her. Gently, I pushed her hands off my shoulders. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave. Leave me! Stay away! Wait, I shouldn't be saying this. Is happy? Away. The humidity's stifling. Everyone's stares are unnerving, and Becca and Zach's concerns are suffocating. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. When it's hot and humid, like, oh, that's like the worst thing that can happen to you. I don't want to be here. No more. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left my bed this morning. Here, with only the occasional drips of water on the sink and the whirring of the fan blades to keep me company, it's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking. But even with the clutter to keep me company, the room still feels a whole lot bigger than usual. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there was a way to tune everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for... Enough. That's enough. A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still hanging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows I've left wide open. My gaze shifts over to the letter sitting on the coffee table, name of the game. Its edges flutter innocuously as the wind touches it. Funny how an ordinary-looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. Okay, so I noticed it says... send to 5 people, not show. So I'm assuming Isabella has technically not sent it to 5 people. She's only shown it, which is annoying, but so she might still die. The impulse to throw it away or rip it to pieces is still there. I can easily do it, but after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who have already seen it? Will they be okay? This uncertainty gnaws at me, knowing that she's real and might also go after people I care about. I just wish someone would listen. Believe me. The abrupt break in the silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Blindly, I fish out my phone from under the mess of papers and cushions where I've carelessly thrown it before taking a shower hours ago. Zach's name flashes brightly on the screen. Is he calling because of this afternoon? Frankly, it's the last thing I want to discuss, but I did leave the 2 of them there without saying anything. You'd think they'd text her by now. Knowing Zach, I bet he's worried.
Hey, Zach.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you're not gonna pick up.
Sorry, it took me a while to find my phone.
No worries. You game tomorrow?
I pause. I don't recall making plans with Zach for the weekend.
Did I forget something?
Remember that guy I told you about? Back in the movies? The, priest? For the blessing?
I'm not gonna say it. Bless these nuts in your mouth.
Does it ring a bell?
Oh, right. I did say that, but I didn't think he'd actually go through the trouble, especially after what happened with this film. Sometimes I forget how kind Zach can be.
Yeah, I remember. Is he fine with it?
My friend doesn't mind. We're lucky he's not busy. So, tomorrow, he'll meet us at the mansion.
Okay. Sorry for the trouble, Zach.
Hey, no problem. I'm the one who suggested it to begin with. And, well, this afternoon you did surprise us. Never seen you scream like that. You scared the hell out of Rebecca.
I guess I owe you a lot for this, huh?
Nah, we're cool. You had us worried. But I know you'll tell us about it eventually. I just want to make sure you're doing well. You left all of a sudden and you're not answering any of our calls.
He's trying to get me to talk. Normally, I tell him I'm fine, say a few simple reassurances to put their minds at ease. Now, nothing will form. I can't bring myself to say anything. He seems to have sensed my hesitation because he immediately changes the subject.
Yeah, anyway, I gotta go. I left something on the stove before making this call. Just soup. But it'd be embarrassing if I burnt soup.
I doubt it. Ashton, on the other hand...
Oh, remind me to tell you about what he did with the pressure cooker next time.
Clearly, you do not own an air fryer.
Oh, damn, it overflowed! Really need to get going. Bye, Bella.
He hangs up before I can thank him. The busy tone, though muffled, echoes through the receiver. No one is saying this will work. Even I am doubtful it will. Also, this is specifically for Dennis. Shout out to Dennis. Eyebrows, eyebrows. You can't really see it. But, here you go. Shall I click it? Ooh. How long is this chapter? Question. Ooh, I went the fun way. Aww. Aww. Wait. This is me right now? What the fuck did I dodge? I'm almost at the end. 35%? I've only done... I'm almost done with her story and I've only done 35% of it. No, I'm not replaying this. Or am I, depending. Anyway. No one is saying this will work. Even I am doubtful it will. But right now, I'll take anything. Anything to get out of this nightmare. Okay. Spoilers for what the priest looks like. He kinda hot though? No, I'm joking. Zachary Steele reminded Isabella Santos of the Ermengarde Mansion's blessing tomorrow. They will be accompanied by Father Norman, a well-known priest in the Anglican and Christian communities. He is described to be a warm and approachable person, especially by the youths. They should not have said that. He's a priest who is approachable to the youths? I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. You think it. Sleep comes easier tonight. And for the first time in a long time, I dream of clear skies, of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets, and of small, cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. October 23rd, Sunday. Okay, so October 23rd on a Sunday is either on is either in 2022, 2016, or 2011. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather, it's one of those rare weekends when I'm up even before my alarm rings. If it wasn't for Zach's call last night, I'd probably sleep in. When 9 AM rolls around, I'm already on my way to the Ermengarde Mansion. I'm sorry, I'm listening to the lift music again. To think that I'd have to go back again, I'd be dying if I say I'm excited. I don't have to anymore. Rose happily gave me paperwork duty when I volunteered. We're on the last phase of the sale too. Well, almost. Papers to sign, documents to finalize, various other legalities to settle with the current owner and all that still. Never mind that its new owners want everything done within the week, when the process typically takes more than that. Oh god, it's Sunday. They want it done, we'll get it done. I really, really don't understand rich people. But money can do wonders. I won't be surprised if they'll be able to push the process just a little more, like what they did to secure the house. The point is, I'm under no obligation to return to the house anymore. Running is an option, of course. I can now move on to another property and forget everything. However, at the end of the day, it's always my conscience that wins. What if something happens to those who have seen the letter? Ash, Zach, Bella, Miss McCulloch, the rights. The guilt will follow me to my grave. The mansion looms as we approach. Whispers welcoming me back, shadows calling. I hope this is the last time. They are engaged in quiet conversation. What's our opinion of the priest? They are engaged in a quiet conversation when I find them in the mansion's front gardens. But even with familiar company, it's impossible to feel at ease here. No matter who I'm with, the feeling of being watched is there, like the very place itself is aware of its trespassers. Zack, on the other hand, doesn't seem to notice. Or he simply doesn't care, or he's already used to it. I could never tell with him. Sometimes he's almost as hard to read as Ash. Almost. At least Zack doesn't ask for as much patience as dealing with Ash does, and that says plenty about him. Miracle of miracles how the two have ended up best friends. He waves at me as I approach. True to his promise, Zack has also brought his friend with him. They're both looking at me and it's creeping me out. Father Norman. How did she know that name? Zack never said who he was called. I guess he could have texted. Somehow I expected him to look older.
Oh, don't be surprised. They say people who have found their calling are getting younger these days.
I love that voice. I was not expecting that voice.
Sorry, Father. I didn't mean to say that out loud.
No offense taken, though I admit I'm a bit surprised. I didn't think someone would ask this house to be blessed after all these years.
You've heard of it, Father?
In passing. The occasional rumors and talk by the locals, nothing new. You don't spend years serving the church here without hearing a random hearsay here and there.
You never mentioned what you thought of those, Father.
I love their blank, happy smiles. They're like...
Ah, but he who goes down to the grave does not come up. He shall never return to his house, nor shall his place know him any more.
But what I saw...
May not be what you think. It depends entirely on what you mean by it. If you're talking about spirit beings, angels, demons, then yes. Are we talking about the spirits of people who have departed? The word makes it clear that once the deceased has left us, they are gone. But of course, I didn't come here to bore you with a lecture.
No, it was enlightening, Father. Thank you.
Just remember that a God who loves his children would never let them linger once the time comes.
That's what my papa often tells me.
Your father must be a good man. He raised you well, no doubt. Well then, shall we? Regardless of what it is, I'm sure the mansion's new owners would appreciate such sincere intentions. From a stranger, no less.
He lets Zack and I walk ahead. A relief. This way, he won't see how tightly I'm clutching the straps of my bag. Father Norman's probably trying to put me at ease. But the worry, the cold, restless, foreboding feeling has firmly lodged itself in my stomach, making its presence known with every step we take towards the house.
Hey, you okay?
No. Zack lightly nudges my side, careful, mindful of his motions, to avoid startling me, no doubt. Scream! Is that not an option? Oh, come on. Like, why would we say it's nothing? Obviously, this place gives her the creeps. Oh, I went up. I'm sorry, me and Zack are besties now. It's hard to lie when Zack gives you that look. It's just there. The kind that implores, a silent appeal. I'm not sure if he's even doing it consciously. Another breeze blows and I try not to shiver, try not to listen to the voices that may or may not be there.
Ugh, this place really gives me the creeps.
It doesn't seem more than an ordinary house to me, though. Damn, I should have brought my camera with me. I saw a few areas that'd be good for a shoot.
Does he not have a bag on him right now?
You think the new owners will allow it?
No.
Shh! What if you catch something? Or someone in one of the pictures?
It just means they want to be seen, doesn't it?
I have an instant print camera and it does really badly in brightly lit areas that it looks hella exposed, so all my pictures look really creepy and it's great. They all look like ghost pictures, I love it.
Don't ask for it.
It's not like we can stop them if they do.
You're really not helping, Zack.
All right, sorry. Don't worry. I don't think whatever's inside this house will do anything. I'm here, yeah? I'll take care of them. Or I think I can.
I would love to see Zack fighting a ghost.
You're not that scary, but thanks. I'll be sure to run behind you if I see one.
Ridiculous talk, though the temporary reprieve it lends is more than welcome. He offers me a smile in return, the least he could do. And with a slight motion of his head, he gestures for us to move ahead, while my own fears are left forgotten for the time being. The things inside my bag clatter softly against each other while I rummage for the keys to the mansion. Wait, where was the father in all of this? Was he just sitting? Did they have like sidebar? I should have heard the telltale jiggle by now, but didn't I put it in my bag last night? Seconds later, I'm sitting on my heels, one after another. I'm taking out everything from every pocket, every slip. It'll be a pain to put everything back later, but I'm just sure it's under these. Nothing. Oh man. Of all the times to forget.
Is something the matter?
No, I'm sorry, Father. I think I left the key.
No use coming up with excuses, and right after they've both taken the time to go this far away from the city. With a heavy sigh, I grab the door handle to pull myself up, a string of apologies ready at the tip of my tongue.
Careful, Bella!
We've spoken with the current owners. Well, technically, you're not yet the owners, but...
There's a brief moment of confusion. And then I'm falling. The momentum of the door swinging open pulls me back first into the mansion's foyer. Before I can make sense of what's happening, man, that sentence read weird.
Ow, 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 my back.
What the? Isabella?
Hi, Rose. No time to nurse my bruised back or make up excuses, because the next thing I know, Zach's gently pulling me up right by my arm. Rose looks down at me with a mixture of apprehension and something I couldn't quite place. I'd say it's relief, but... Ah, sheesh. Good going, Isabella, right after you volunteered to work on the papers. And standing behind her... You know what, I was gonna say that, like, you would think that someone who's about to buy the house would not... One, or, like, be at the house making changes, and two, like, you'd need their consent to go there, like...
Ma'am Hannah! Mr. Wright!
It's Mom Hannah.
Oh, Isabel. We always meet in the most interesting circumstances.
You know what? That's the second time she's, like, fallen over at the bottom of the stairs. If I had a penny for every time Isabella fell at the bottom of stairs, I'd have 2 pennies. But it's interesting that it happened twice.
A complete understatement, darling. What are they doing in my house?
Abruptly, he waves his hand at Zach and Father Norman like the presence is a slight against his own.
I thought you said you wanted to do paperwork duty. What are you doing here?
She said, duty. Like a deer caught in the headlights. Unfair, Rose. That's putting me on the spot. And it leaves me no other choice but to answer.
The reason why I'm here?
Well, spit it out, Lily. We don't have all day.
Blech.
I'm just here to make sure everything is fine before you move in.
I am so sorry, Mama. You said I'll go to hell if I lie. I likely will after this, but there's no other way. You shouldn't teach kids that. Well, it isn't entirely a lie. I am here to make sure no one disturbs them after they move in. It just so happens that what I'm checking for and trying to drive away is of the paranormal variety.
Oh? The house appears impeccably fine to me.
Mr. Wright shifts his eyes around in a careful manner, as if he's looking for faults in every crevice of the house, or of the room. The grin on his face, though, when he returns his attention to me is similar to what my kuya Jordan had often given me when he was up to something. Usually a scare prank that inevitably ended in me crying. Oh, that's mean. I never did forget the way my brother sneered at me then. Ugh. A part of me thinks that perhaps if I hadn't been the object of a mischief in childhood, I would have grown a little braver.
Come on, little Lily. Lying doesn't do that cute little face any justice. I'm a very patient man.
No, you're not.
Now, why are you really here?
Right now, in the face of an almost identical expression, perhaps even crueler than what I'm used to, the lie I told falls apart.
The truth is I was just thinking we could have the house blessed before move-in day.
And why would we ever need to have this house blessed?
For luck and protection.
I shrink under his scrutinizing gaze. For a second, I think that he'll start shouting at me. Instead, he laughs. I was gonna say, he doesn't seem like the shouting type. Not the mocking, jeering kind, but one wondering if he's hearing things right. Incredulous, that's the word you're looking for. I'd say he was amused, but I honestly couldn't understand what was so funny with what I just said. Was it really that weird? Wasn't it a custom here? I wish Becca was here to explain stuff like this.
That's rich coming from you. When we saw Devlin Court, you didn't...
Just to clarify something, in Filipino households at least, you bless a house that is a new build, I believe. from what I remember. And if you move into a new build, you like put 20 P's in the corner of all the households to wish luck or something.
It's a small custom back home. I thought it would be nice to do something that would bring positive energy to the mansion, since this place has been empty for years.
And the papers, Isabella? I hope you did those first before this.
No.
Of course I did. It's almost done, in fact. But there are some items I still have to double check before finalizing everything. You know I don't sign without a thorough inspection. And well, this is what this is for too. I just thought it would be more efficient to do both at the same time.
Here, I thought you didn't want to go back.
A job is a job, Rose. Gotta do what you gotta do to make a living. Oh, well, if that's the case, then go ahead. No need to be so hard on her, Rosie.
Aw, Rosie. Shout out Hannah. Wink. Blink.
I personally think it's a nice touch. I was actually thinking of the same thing, but you beat me to it.
It's Mom Hana and Rosie spelled E-Y.
Darling, Buttercup, please. You know these things don't work. No offense meant to the holy man, of course. That does not explain the though.
Right, I had to edit out what Luke said because he said something incredibly racist. All of a sudden, there's an awkward silence that even Rose, of all people, seems reluctant to break. Although it's a desire to do so is evident in the way her eyes nervously shifts to Mr. Wright. Meanwhile, Zach's grip on my arm suddenly tightens. He doesn't say anything further, but there's a conflicted look on him when I glance up. That's the face he makes when he desperately wants to give someone a piece of his mind, but chooses not to do so, mostly to avoid confrontation or fanning the flames to an argument. He has always been like this, even among his own friends. He chooses to take the placating stance despite holding opinions of his own. Not that I won't say anything, I know Mr. Wright's a client, but you can't just say that in front of other people, in front of Zach no less. Can you guess by context what he said? I can't believe the voice actor said that. If Ashton were here, I know he wouldn't stand for it. And neither do I. There was a reason why bullies back home never touched my younger brother again after I gave them a taste of their own medicine. He might be inches taller than me, but I'm pretty sure I can still land a hit or two. Maybe, if only I'm not going to get trouble with BRC for it. But before any punch could be thrown, Mom Hana cuts in.
Lucille Mitchell-Wright.
Lucille Mitchell-Wright. I love the way she said that. Let's play it again.
Lucille Mitchell-Wright. Lucille Mitchell-Wright. Lucille Mitchell-Wright.
Oh yeah. In a voice too firm, demanding his complete silence.
What?
What? I love the way he said that too.
What? What? What?
Instead of answering, she merely crosses her arms and shoots her husband a sharp, disapproving glare. That seems to have done the trick. He immediately shuts his mouth, but not before muttering a few inaudible words under his breath. At this, Mom Hana could only sigh and shake her head.
Oh, give it a rest, love. Do you have a better idea? Who knows? Positive energy might even give us what we've been waiting for. Or some peace. Let them do their job.
What have we been waiting for? I don't think I was ever informed of.
A baby.
Nothing you should worry about right now. Anyway, we've still got a few things we need to discuss with Rosie here. Over lunch? I hope you don't mind, Isabel. We'd love to take you with us, but... Oh, no. Go ahead, ma'am. This'll take time. That's why there's two of us working on this.
Rose looks like she's about to murder someone, probably me. At least she won't have to stay in a haunted property. She's getting the better end of this deal if anyone's going to ask me.
Oh, wonderful. I hope the next time the three of us meet, it'll be over a closed deal, Of course, ma'am. Please look forward to it.
Rose hurriedly hands me the keys to the house before leaving, mouthing reminders to secure the place and harmless threats for throwing her under the bus. I return it with a reassuring smile of my own, even if she's the one who often forgets. Sheesh! And just like that, gone just as quickly as they appeared, fleeting from one scene to the next and leaving me wondering if this is simply what typical for the rich and famous. If so, I'd rather stay with my run-down apartment or our little shack back home. There's still joy in the smallest things, after all. How long were they here? With a house this big, it's not surprising when the ceremony takes a few hours to finish. The sun's already high by the time we've gone through the last room. So, I was a part of at least a Filipino blessing. Essentially, you walk around with a candle, and the priest has holy water, and each room, you have to go through each room, and he, like, splashes the holy water around, like, whilst going through all the religious terminology and stuff, and then, you know, rinse and repeat. I can never say I'm a devout follower of my own faith, even with Mama and Papa's teachings. But hearing every word Father Norman uttered as we went around the house has put me at ease. All of a sudden, the mansion doesn't seem so scary anymore. Maybe there is an end to this? Or perhaps this is the end? End of the game. Right, we'll end the episode here, and we'll see what happens after the blessing. I will see you guys all in the next episode. Goodbye! Kisses, bye!